Okay, hello everybody. We are recording on our second week right now for our resource room math. For most of us, I hope that you guys turned in your assignments from last week. I didn't post many. There was two. There was one over distance, rate, and time. There was another one that was over ratios that you guys had a chance to turn in. So now this week we're going to do some review, and you're also going to take a quiz over all of this. Okay, now the quiz will be posted at the beginning of the week, and just as always, it is going to be due by Sunday at 9 p.m. Okay, so when I post this, it is up to you to get it done when you get the chance. Now, I'm still going to be posting material to help you out for that quiz. So say you don't feel so comfortable taking it on a Monday, because you're just now, going over it again. That's okay. Say you want to wait until Thursday. There's going to be materials posted and laid out for you so that you would do the best that you can at the or on that quiz, I would say. Today is just review. So we're going to review our distance, rate, and time as well as our ratios. If you look over on the side here, you'll see we have our three formulas. I just abbreviated them this time rather than writing them all out. So we have speed equals distance over time. Time equals distance over rate, and distance equals speed times time. And that's what we're going to be using while we're figuring out some of these problems here and referring to, okay? So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. And let me get the color out. Okay, so for our first one, so I'm referring to right here. Is where I want you guys to be. It says find the time. Okay, right away we know what we're finding. We're finding the time. You can stop right there and underline it, or just take a picture or screenshot in your head. Right away, when they're saying find the time, we already know what formula we're going to use, and it's right over here. If the distance, so here's our distance, is 157.5 miles, and the speed is 63 miles, we need to find the time based off of that. Now, if you look over here, I have distance over rate. Remember, rate is equal to speed. It's the same thing, okay? Just if I say speed or if I say rate, I'm talking about the same thing, so I don't want to confuse you here. So what we need to do is we have to take what we know. We have 157.5 miles. I'm just going to put it M. We have a speed of 63 miles per hour. Now all we have to do is divide those, because obviously our distance is over our rate or our speed. So now we have to divide that. So 157.5 divided by 63, and we would get that the time, just put a T for time, the time equals 2.5 hours. Now, why do I put hours? Because we're talking about time as a unit. Okay, so we're not going to put miles. We're not going to put miles per hour. We're going to put down 2.5 hours because time is, our unit is time. So that's why we need an H there for hour. Okay, I'll even circle that there for you to see. All right, now we're going to go and move on down to here. It says find the distance. Once again, it's just coming right out with it. So we know that we're going to be using right here. Find the distance if the speed is 67 miles per hour and the time is 3.5 hours. So we take 67 and we multiply that by 3.5. Now, I know I'm not doing long multiplication here. You have a computer, or I'm sorry, you have a calculator at home or your phone at home. I don't expect you guys to work these out other than using your calculator or your phone. So just take your phone and multiply 67 times 3.5. When you do that, you end up with your distance of being, once again, as for distance, that's why I'm putting D, distance equals 234.5 miles. Now, once again, our unit is miles because we're talking about distance, Okay, miles per hour is talking about speed. Hours is talking about time. And I'm sorry, I know my writing isn't the best on here still. I'm trying to use my keypad in order to fill these in. Okay, let's take a look at number 3 now. At any point, if this is going too fast, you can pause it, work it out, and I would highly advise you to do that. Work the problems out on your own, even pause and maybe try this problem right here on your own first. So if you want to pause it right now. I'm going to solve this problem, and then when you go ahead and start back up, you would see if you got it right. Okay, so when I look at this, it says find the rate. Okay, rate is the same thing as speed. Okay, so I have 247 miles. That's my distance. How do I know that? Because miles is the unit for distance. And the time is 3.8 hours. Okay, I know this is time as well because hours is the unit for time. So if we're finding right up here, speed and rate, as always, is the same thing like I put up here. Rate equals speed. So I look and it says the rate, find the rate. So I need to take 247. I have to divide that by 3.8. In which I would get 65. Well, actually, let me write it over here. If I was going to write the rate, so you could write R or S equals 65 mph for miles per hour. So there's an example of each one of those formulas that we have off on the side. And now let's go up here. It says, which is faster? Shall all work to justify your answer. So we're talking about either 60 feet in 90 seconds or 60 inches in 5 seconds. So we're going to set it up as a ratio. So 60 feet to 90 seconds. Okay. And that's A. And B is 60 inches to 5 seconds. Okay, so we have 90. I'll just put S here for seconds. 90 seconds and S here for 5 seconds. Okay. Now, one thing that I noticed right away when I look at both A and B is we're talking about feet here, even though I know it don't look like it. We're talking about feet here and inches here. Now, that's okay because we know that there's 12 inches for every 1 foot. So if we have 12 inches in 1 foot, then can we convert 60 feet to see how many inches that would be? The answer is sure. Take now 60 feet. So you would take 60 times 12, in which you would get 720 inches over 90 seconds. Now, when you do that, now we have to divide because we have our inches over our seconds, just like we have here. So 720 divided by 90 gives me 8. So 8 inches. I'm going to put it to 1 second. So we have 8 inches in every 1 second. Now, if you take a look at B here, it's already in inches for us, in seconds for us, so we don't need to convert this. All we have to do is divide it. So what's 60 divided by 5 is you come up with 12 inches for every 1 second. Okay, so 8 inches for 1 second or 12 inches for 1 second. So it's asking which one is going faster. Well, if we're moving 8 inches in a second or we're moving 12 inches in a second, I would say B, because we are moving more inches per second. Okay. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to take this out. Actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and stop right there. Okay. We're going to stop right there. Those 3 examples of distance, rate, and time, as well as we have a ratio example here. So for today, that's all I'm going to cover on that. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out to me either by email. If you guys go up on our Google Classroom and you click the down button, let me see if I can pull it up here for you just so you guys can see. We're going to stop sharing. And I'm going to share screen again. And I'm going to go to Google Drive. And then I'm going to go over to my classroom. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Well, regardless, what I was trying to show you is that if you go over to my classroom and you'll look at the top where it says Perseverance is Power, and it says Mr. Thompson's 7th or 8th period math class, there's a little drop down arrow. If you click down on that, that'll show you where my times are at for conferencing and such. So if you ever need to conference with me, we can always use that. A couple of you have already been emailing me. That's perfect. I'll make sure to get back to you that way as well. Or like I said, we could do that conference time. So make sure you guys are sending out any questions that you have, and I'll be doing my best to answer them for you. Keep submitting those assignments, and I appreciate all your work and effort that you guys have been given. Keep it up, guys. Look forward to talking to you more. All right, bye-bye.